Greetings, I'm Abigail. I've come across some remarkable mother-in-law stories that resonate with my own experiences. Similar to some of these narratives, my life was nearly derailed by my now ex-husband Stephen and mother-in-law Doris. Interestingly, my sister-in-law Judy became a supportive friend and confidant during this challenging time. Allow me to share how I avoided being trapped in the financial burden created by Stephen and Doris. My marriage to Stephen was relatively recent, and unfortunately it didn't last long. In hindsight, I consider it a blessing in disguise, as I discovered his true nature. I crave love, and Stephen seemed to understand that, showering me with affection. Both of us had stable jobs, leading us to decide on marriage approximately 4 years into our relationship. Admittedly, it was a rushed decision, and little did I know about the facade of Stephen's love. Shortly after our marriage, Stephen revealed a shocking truth. He confessed to hiding that he had lost his job just before we married. This revelation left me bewildered and scared. He apologized, explaining that he was ashamed, fearing societal judgment as men in his family who couldn't provide were looked down upon. Despite my disappointment, I supported him as he searched for a new job. However, as time passed, Stephen made no effort to find employment even 11 months into our marriage. Adding to my challenges, I found myself financially supporting his mother Doris with a monthly allowance. Doris, a difficult woman, treated me poorly, branding me a gold digger publicly and humiliating me at every opportunity. What made matters worse was Stephen's lack of intervention, leaving it to his sister Judy to stand up for me. In a private conversation, Judy expressed her concern, acknowledging that her family might not be the best people. She confided that they would never appreciate me solely because I was a woman, drawing from her own experiences. Judy's advice became a turning point for me, prompting me to reassess my situation. I've had a well-established career, yet my mother constantly criticizes Stephen simply because he's a man. Judy's words resonated deeply as Doris consistently belittled women while showering her son with praise. I had often wondered how she would react when she learned that I was the one covering her expenses. Back then, I could never have anticipated witnessing her first-hand reaction and discovering the true nature of Stephen. It all unfolded during a family dinner to which I was invited. The atmosphere was lively with many from Stephen's side present. However, my husband's actions left me utterly speechless. He proudly proclaimed himself as the family's breadwinner, which I could have accepted. Unfortunately, he didn't stop there. Instead, he proceeded to mock and fabricate lies about me, highlighting how I earned very little and made him cover my so-called luxuries. The room echoed with laughter as he painted me as a gold digger. Doris seized the opportunity to affirm her long-standing disdain for me, declaring that she had always been right about my alleged freeloading tendencies. Stephen continued his disparaging remarks, expressing gratitude that his hard work allowed him to support me. Despite all of this, I was able to get a good job. Stephen continued his disparaging remarks, expressing gratitude that his hard work allowed him to support me, despite his inclination towards charitable endeavors. He insinuated that I couldn't manage my expenses, and that without him, I would be destitute. According to him, I deserved homelessness for my supposed laziness. Hearing these words from Stephen and Doris left me stunned. While I had always known about Doris's animosity, Stephen's betrayal was a profound shock. I couldn't fathom that he would fabricate such lies, not only falsely claiming to be the breadwinner, but also endorsing harmful stereotypes about me. However, as Doris prodded him to assert his status as the breadwinner, Stephen finally admitted the truth. I, not Stephen, was the sole provider of our household. Doris vehemently rejected this revelation, insisting that her son wouldn't depend on a woman, unfazed. I informed her that I had given Stephen an eviction notice a month prior, and he was to move out by the coming week. Doris, shocked by this revelation, interrogated Stephen, leading to the admission of the truth. Realizing her dependency on me, Doris pleaded with me not to leave Stephen and to continue covering their expenses. I laughed at their pleas, reminding Doris of her disdain for me just a month ago. Over the next week, both Stephen and Doris continued their relentless appeals, apologizing and begging me to reconsider. However, I stood firm. When the week elapsed, I ordered Stephen to leave my property, threatening police involvement if he resisted. He departed with his belongings, moving in with Doris. Judy informed me of their attempts to seek money from her, which she adamantly refused. I blocked their numbers and instructed Stephen to communicate through a lawyer. Our separation proceeded smoothly, as Stephen lacked the financial means to contest it in court. Eventually, I heard that they were being evicted from Doris's apartment due to months of unpaid rent. Cut off from Judy's support, they resorted to couch surfing at relatives' places, facing uncertain prospects. Meanwhile, I focused on rebuilding my life and embracing contentment on my own. I vowed not to fall into anyone's trap again, hopeful that I would find my true soulmate in the future.